Joined by our high school athlete of the week, one of our finalists for the honorary ESPYs in the female high school athlete of the year category. It's last year's winner. It's Ashley Lehman of Hesston track and field and cross country. Followed up her great campaign last year with three record breakers in the Keisha championships at Cessna Stadium. Ashley, kind of talk about what that was like to not only win four gold medals, but to also break some records in the process.
Yeah, it was a dream come true. It was such a fun weekend, and I had so many people there watching, so I was just super excited to accomplish so many goals that weekend.
Yeah, and what was the conditions like? It felt like it was the perfect weekend for state track compared to last year. What was it like? What was different at state track between the last 2 years?
Yeah, this year it was gorgeous out. The weather was almost perfect. And the one thing about this year is that it wasn't too windy, so my records in the 1 and 200 were able to stand. Last year they didn't count, but this year they did. So.
Yeah, and what was the season like? Was it just pure dominance from front end to back end? What was that like for you to kind of have also a little bit of a target on your back after such a great season last year?
Yeah, have definitely been some expectations that I felt this year, but I like having expectations. That puts a little bit of pressure on me, but I feel like I kind of do well under pressure. It's been a great season. I've had so many people who have believed in me and supported me through it all, so I'm just really blessed.
Yeah, and how do you kind of deal with that pressure? Is it a mindset thing? I mean, some people say pressure builds diamonds, so that's a pressure is a good thing. Pressure is a privilege. But how do you kind of deal with that on a day-to-day basis, especially leading up to a meet?
Yeah, I kind of turn that pressure into adrenaline. I try to be confident going into my races, know that I've been training for those moments. And I mean, my family, they always are super supportive. My coaches believe in me, my teammates. So they just all really help me out.
And you won gold in the 100, 200, 400, and then the pole vault. What was kind of the decision into making those the four that you picked? Because most people you would expect to do the three sprints and then a relay, but what made you want to stretch out into the pole vault?
I've been vaulting since I was in seventh grade. My aunt did it in high school and in college, so she has kind of been a role model for me there. And so I like pole vault. It's going pretty well, obviously, so I just want to keep doing it.
Yeah, of those four, which is your favorite to do?
My favorite's probably the 400. It's definitely a tough race, but I feel like I'm just able to compete my best in that
What's your
one.
least favorite though? That's probably the better question. What's your least favorite? I mean, I'm sure you've tried other events, but do you have a least favorite event?
Out of those four, it probably depends on the day. Sometimes it's pole vault because it's so mental. Other days it's probably the 100. It's just really short.
Yeah. And I usually ask the track kids this because track is a weird sport because you're gonna be sore, you're gonna be miserable a lot of the time, but you also have to make sure that you're peaking at the right time late in the season. How do you kind of balance that working hard and trying to improve while also recovering at a rapid rate?
Yeah, I mean, I have a great coach. He really plans our workouts accordingly, and he's done a lot of research with that. So I just make sure I'm working through the off season as well, just to prepare me for that state meet.
Yeah, kind of talk about the off season. What do you like to do during the off season to kind of keep yourself in shape and ready to go at the right time?
In the winter I play basketball, so that kind of keeps me in shape. But I also do some indoor track meets, and practice pole vault and all that stuff, just to stay in the groove and keep practicing until season starts.
Yeah. What do you feel like were the biggest improvements that you made from last year to this year? Obviously, the sprints made some improvements there, but what do you feel like you improved at the most over the last year?
Racing wise, I think it was probably the 400. I took off over a second and a half, or almost a second and a half on my time. So that was super exciting. I was really proud of that, and that's been a goal for a long time. Um, so yeah, but also just how I handle myself. I think this year I really tried to encourage others at meets, just recognize everyone's successes, not just mine.
Yeah. And is that kind of your leadership role on the team where I'm sure a lot of girls and a lot of guys look up to you being, the status that you are as a sprinter and a state champion? Is that kind of your leadership role, being supportive and kind of leading everyone along?
Yeah, I really try my best to encourage everyone in the events that they're doing. Especially our younger girls. They were pretty nervous going into that state meet, so I just tried to be that role model for them and just encourage them and be there for them.
Yeah. What were some of your goals coming into the season? Was breaking the records in all of the sprints kind of a goal for you, or what did you have set out for yourself this season?
That was a goal of mine to break all three of those records. We knew it was going to depend on the wind, and we didn't know what it was going to look like on Saturday. So I really tried to go out hard in the 200 prelims because it wasn't super windy. So I was able to accomplish that. And I just wanted to be consistent through the season. That paid off. Yeah.
Yeah. Through this season, what do you feel like was the toughest meet of the year for you?
I'd probably say KU relays. Well, KU relays competition wise, there were some amazing athletes there. So it was super fun being there competing with those athletes. Um, but regionals was also a really hard meet because I had to run all of my races, all the prelims and finals before I pole vaulted. So that was just tough having to go back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you, what do you enjoy the most about track? What do you, because a lot of people they don't like running. They don't like doing that, especially even when they're good at it. Some of them just aren't happy doing it. But you seem to love it. What do you love the most about track?
I've met so many people through this sport. I've made so many new friendships on the track, and then just like when we're warming up, when we're waiting to step on, getting ready to run. So it's just so fun to watch everyone's improvement throughout the season and through the years. And it's super cool seeing all these girls like committing to colleges, and I'm just so excited to keep following their progress.
Yeah, and you're heading into the summer now. Summer heading into your senior year, so I'm sure that's exciting for you. What do you have planned for the summer? Any fun vacations or anything like that?
Well, I'm doing some track meets this summer, so we're kind of going to turn some of those into vacations. I'm looking forward to those, and then we'll get started with the recruiting process in the fall.
Is there one that you have highlighted as a fun vacation spot already on the summer agenda?
Yeah, we're going to go to Savannah, Georgia, and that's where Junior Olympics is at, so I think we're going to stay a couple of days there.
All right, Ashley, thanks again for joining us, and best of luck this summer, and then going into your senior year. And congratulations on being a second-time finalist for our high school athlete of the year.
Thank you.